Okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to YouTube Model Builders Special Tuesday Night Live Build Show. I'm Johnny Reb. I'm directing the show tonight. We have Fran and Miles Sale. They're going to be building a Micro-Engineering Deck Girder bridge live on the show tonight. Yeah, like I said in my video, I got my money on Fran. But I do especially want to thank the guys, Barry and all of them at Traymaster TV for allowing Miles and Fran to use the studio and equipment for tonight's show for us. That was very nice of them, and we greatly appreciate that. Uh, I guess I don't have anything else to say. I'm running out of words here, so I'm going to let Fran and Miles take it over now because they're used to doing this. This is new to me. So here's Fran and Miles.
Thanks, Johnny.
I'm Fran.
I'm Fran Hale.
I'm Miles Hale.
And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to build a Micro-Engineering Deck Girder Bridge 30-foot open deck, HO scale. If anybody's out there building it with us, this is what the kit looks like. And Miles has just opened it for the first time. I did look at the directions this morning, so I'm one slight peg ahead of him at this point in time.
I'm a man. I don't need no stinking directions, right?
I thought it'd be a good idea to just take a look at them.
I thought I'd take the first 15 minutes or so. I'll just read through them, and she can go ahead and start building, you know?
Now, you got the nippers, though.
I got the nippers. All right, we can go ahead and nip a little bit.
Well, okay.
While she's cutting her sprue parts off, I'll talk a little bit. Andy Crawford was talking to me that the video medium that we have on YouTube Model Builders really is a medium that should be utilized to kind of expand the clinic program that Fran and I normally would present. We normally go to the Amherst show or to the NMRA conventions, either regionals or nationals, and a lot of other train meets. And we specialize for the last 10, 15 years, I guess, on hands-on clinics where everybody out in the audience, like you all, you get the kit, you build it, and we try and pick a kit that you can complete in the 2-hour or so session that we have. So we like for everybody to go out with a smile on their face saying, hey, look what I did. And it's nice that we can all do that, but it's very limiting because we can only handle about 30 people when it's just the two of us. When we have other instructors with us, we might be able to go up to 50. But YouTube Model Builders, we hope that this is going to catch on and that in the future we'll be able to get, say, 100 or 2 or 3, or who knows what the limit might be if there actually isn't any. But we hope that all of you will tune in and build the kit with us, because you can type in on that question and answer session, even though you may not be live with us on the video part. You're live with us building the kit at the same time we are. Just type in your questions. Johnny will relay them to us and we'll get an answer for you right away.
Maybe.
Maybe, we hope, yeah.
We'll try. We never guarantee success on these things. And but we'll do our best to give you an answer.
If we don't have an answer, we'll try and find somebody who knows and get an answer for you.
All I've done so far is just, this is the first piece that we're going to use. This is the girder. This is the sides of the bridge. And I've cut this off of the sprue, and then I've just done a tiny little bit of sanding where the sprues were, so I can even it up a little bit.
You're trying to get rid of the
parting marks. The parting marks, yeah. That's all I'm trying to do right now, and smooth it up a little bit. And so that's all we're trying to do at the moment.
Let me borrow your sandpaper.
I have some sandpaper.
Put it in between the seams. Do something.
Okay. And so that's what we're doing at the moment. And then get some of the junk out of the way.
My recommendation would be in the DPM, the Design Preservation Model kits, which are now being sold by Wood & Scenics, they recommend that you make a sanding board, and that's just simply a flat piece of board. It can be wood or it can be pressed board, and you glue this sandpaper down to it, and we're off to the races. You can sand your parts. I think a sanding board is absolutely crucial to doing any modeling.
It makes it a whole lot easier because you've got a nice flat surface, a big surface to work on. And it really makes life easier if you've got a good sanding board. We just have a piece of sandpaper here, but what Miles usually does is he will take a piece of any junk wood that we've got. It doesn't matter, masonite, 1/4-inch plywood, 1/2-inch plywood, anything you've got. And then he does just some spray glue on the back of the sandpaper and glues it onto that board. And then it's a good surface. It doesn't curl like this is doing on the edges. And we did not bring one of those with us when we came on this trip. And so we're kind of having to make do a little bit, but it really is a nice thing to work on.
This is live TV, and we're kind of learning as we go. You got your own camera over there. You can talk.
I have my own camera. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do once we get these girders ready is we've got something called the lateral bracing. It looks like this on the sprue, and I'm cutting that off of the sprue, and then we're going to.
Sorry.
We're also working with only one cutter here. Minor details. And then I'm going to just do that little bit of sanding on that. Where the parting marks are from the sprue is all we're really trying to do.
I don't know if you can get as close up on this or not, but I like to sand this edge, and I don't know if you can see the difference here. There's a kind of a dull finish here, a shinier finish here. I really like to take my X-Acto on that finish after I've sanded it and just scrape it down. I think it makes it a little bit flatter, and it makes it look a little bit better. So I scrape them a little bit after I get done, and that pretty much gets rid of any of that parting mark that I would otherwise have. Also makes for a messy table. Certainly makes things look a little bit better, I think.
All right, you have your lateral bracing ready?
No, you're ahead of me.
Well,
you old Speedo, you.
Got my lateral bracing already.
Whenever we do clinics, I always say we have Speedos because they're always the ones that are about 5 steps ahead of my instruction.
That's all right.
Fran cheats. She read the instructions.
I read the instructions. Okay. So the instructions say that you're supposed to look at these sides and you're to put it down in front of you so that the rivets are on the left side of the middle, I don't know what you call it, not panel exactly, angle right here. So the rivet should be on the left side of this, all right? So we got those down. And then we're going to take this, what do we call this? Lateral bracing is what we call this thing. And this thing fits over top of this. Let's see here with the... Okay, with the rivets go on the outside. Okay, so it's going to go like this, right over the top of those bracing pieces. All right.
I'm kind of like the kid, in the 6th grade that's going peeking over here, checking out what she's doing.
Now, there are three points where we're going to glue it. This is I keep calling it glue. It isn't glue. It's plastic cement, and it works by melting the glue. Okay, so forgive me by melting the plastic, forgive me when I call it glue. It isn't really. This is plastic weld. There's lots of different brands of plastic
this is glue.
Cement.
Is it? That's something else. Testers. All right.
And so you're going to do the middle one first. Okay, and it goes right down on the bottom there. Glue that one in place, and then you're going to do the 2 edges here. I'm trying to keep my fingers out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so then we're going to glue the 2 edges. And plastic cement is not like super glue, where instantaneously it's solid. Because this actually melts the plastic, you got to give it a little bit of time to solidify. Now, that's good because you can kind of wiggle things in place if you don't quite have them in the right spot. But it's also, like I say, it's not instantaneous. So you got to give it a second to set up here before you continue with something else. I
would say normally we really like to use 10X7R or use Weld-On 4, which you can buy at the local plastic supply house. Those are extremely fast methylene chloride based solvents, and to me they just work much better.
Now what we're trying to do, of course, is to keep this thing at a 90-degree angle to that girder, And I'm kind of holding my two end pieces here to solidify them and make sure they're up at a 90-degree angle. We've got little pieces of wood. I guess we could use them, actually.
Yeah, I brought your little squaring block there.
All right, here we go. We've got a little squaring block now that we're putting against this. I don't know if you can get it. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Good picture. Okay, good. All right. And then just make sure that both of your, or all three of your glue points are solidified. Okay. All right. Now, the other one we've got here, but we're not going to put it on yet because we've got this, what do we call this bracing? I guess it's called the X brace. This is the X brace right here. And we're going to put this across the middle here. So that goes on next before we put on the other side. So we're going to snip these off of the, off of the sprue. And I think we use 3 of these. There's 4 on the sprue. Apparently this bridge also comes, this is a 30-foot span, and apparently you can also get it in a 50-foot span. And so the directions are kind of, you know, if you're doing this, do this. If you're doing this, you're doing, yeah, they're generic. Boy, are they. And I think for this one, we're only going to use 3 of these instead of all of them. And I guess you would use all 5 of them if you were doing the other. And let's see, it shows you how much to cut off here someplace. Trim, do not trim. Okay, I think we trim up to there. Okay. Have to check and see if he's ahead of me yet. He probably is.
Nah, I'm not. We're using how many of these?
3 of them, I think. I think it's just 3.
One on each end
and one in the middle, yeah.
One in the middle. Mm-hmm. Okay. Kind of nice there. At least they're double-sided, so they look a little bit better maybe when they go on.
Yeah,
I tell you what, while you guys are contemplating that, got one question here. Why not paint the parts first? That's from Curtis down in Florida.
Okay, first of all, these are all pretty much going to be one color. I would probably prefer to spray the bridge black. I normally would use Krylon flat black, and then I would come back in and just give it a little spritz of a gray, flat gray, and then a flat ruddy brown primer or their chromate primer, whichever it is. If that gets a little too bilious or too bright, come back then and just mist it just very, very lightly with some black. The reason that I want to wait to paint until the end to answer the question is if I put the paint on now, this solvent glue, it's methylene chloride. The #1 ingredient for paint strippers is methylene chloride. So if I use this glue and I already have paint on there, I'm just asking for trouble. It's probably going to wrinkle it, orange peel it. It's just going to really mess up the paint job. I'm far better off to paint it after the fact. Unless I'm doing a structure that absolutely demands multicolors where I need to mask off, and masking would be too hard to do in a 3-dimensional piece, I normally would not paint these pieces before I put them together because it just makes it that much harder to glue them and keep it looking neat.
The other thing is, you know, unless you are super, super careful with your plastic cement, you're liable to have some marks from the plastic cement. And the paint, if you wait and do it afterwards, you're going to cover all of that up. And so many times when we do clinics, we're doing them with children, and they just splash glue all over the place, and they have fingerprints on things. And it is amazing once they take that building or structure or whatever out and paint it, how much better the whole thing looks. And they just can't believe that they did something that beautiful. So give yourself a little bit of slack, you know, put it together and then paint it after the fact. And I think you'll be happier with the end result.
We have a lot of men who have, you know, some fairly good experience. And when they go out and paint it, even though they may have put their fingerprint in it by mistake, the fingerprints just disappear. The Krylon does a great job. If you have an airbrush and you really like to airbrush, that's fine, but I just don't like to dirty the airbrush. So normally I would use nothing more than a Krylon can. It's just fast, easy, quick. And if you do it in very, very light coats, it doesn't build up. Most people are afraid of large cans because they tend to build the paint up a little too thick.
Miles, I know everybody's getting an echo from me. I can't explain that other than it's somewhere within the system and it's totally out of my control. But anyway, Miles, Phil is asking why use that glue then and not something else?
Why use, you mean the 10X7R or the Weld-On 4?
I guess so.
If we turn the mics, will that help? Are we getting an echo out of this one? Okay.
No, they're just saying that when I talk, it echoes, so I'm keeping my mic off.
We turned the volume down a little bit on you over here, so we should be okay. I really like, okay, I should go over my glue lecture that we do in the regular clinics. Weld-On 4 is available all the time, and it's in a plastic supply house. 10X7R has been spotty over the past decade or so, I think mostly because the company has changed hands. My understanding is that they're back to providing in the house, it's okay. So if it's can, I just as soon see you support your local hobby shop with the 10X7R. You also need to put into your arsenal a glue that's sold by Walthers. It comes from Faller from Germany, and it's called Faller Expert. That's F-A-L-L-E-R. And then I think it's just E-X-P-E-R-T, isn't it?
I think so, yeah, spelling, yeah, just expert.
It comes in a white bottle, blue cap, long needle applicator. I did many years ago have Wayne Weslowski, my idol, who is a chemist, did an analysis of that solvent. And Faller has in that solvent a styrene dissolved into it. So when you put that applicator and you put some of that solvent out on your finger, it's like honey. It's not like the methylene chloride glues that just evaporate immediately. This stuff will stay there for a while. And it doesn't set as fast as what the methylene chlorides do. So if you need to be able to move a joint around a little bit, time, the Faller Expert is an ideal solvent to use. If you want it to go quick, which I really would like to have these bridges, of course, go quick. I'd like to beat Fran's socks off here, but that's not going to happen because we're using Plastaweld and we're using testers. Those are much slower versions of the methylene chloride solvents. The other advantage to the Faller Expert, I'll drop back for a minute. When we build our DPM buildings in these clinics, we always take a bead of that and we run a bead around the roof. And because of that, having the solvent and the styrene together, when it dries, it makes a fillet. It rounds from the roof right up into the sidewall. And if you stop and think about how roofers finish out roofs, they take a big mop of tar and they slop it up. That's how they seal the roof, is they seal it onto those bricks on the side and down onto the roof. So that solvent glue, that Faller, gives you that fillet that you really want on the edge of the roof. So you really need to put both of those glues, both a methylene chloride type, these would be okay, 10X7 or Weld-On would be better, and also put that Faller in your toolbox. How you doing?
Well, I think I did it wrong, but I think it's going to work anyway.
You're way ahead of me.
Okay.
I talk too much.
That's right. Okay, now I didn't do this exactly the way they said, but I think it's going to work anyway. Okay, I put one of the, you were supposed to put one of the lateral bracings on one girder and one on the other one. I put them both on the same one, but I'm just going to glue it together like that, and the end result is going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't always have to do it exactly the way the kit says. You know, you can get by with doing it however you want to do it.
To a certain extent.
Well, yeah, to a certain degree. Okay, now let's see if I can get this all together here.
I like these. I've never used these little sprue cutters. Those are pretty nice.
Yeah. Okay, there's all my pieces in place. Now, let's see.
Barry, if you don't find these on your tool drawer when we leave, you know where they went. I'll come to Kansas City to find them. That's right. Come down to Kansas City and you'll find them.
Well, Miles, as you know, we do have our clowns here, and Dwight said, pour some Dr. Pepper on it, Miles. Instant weathering.
Good comment.
Dr. Pepper will fix anything, I'll tell you. Oh, I see what you were saying. Okay, here's the difference between what Fran and I are going to do. I'm going to take this girder, and I don't know which camera wants to go. On you? Okay, if I blew this here, then I'm going to get the same thing Fran has. Both of my braces are identical. Okay, but if I were to glue this to this girder up there at the top, then my other girder would go, I'll hold this up so you can see it, would go the opposite direction. So it would be much stronger in terms of the way the engineers would build the bridge. This would be far better than the other way. But as she said, once this gets under the track, I mean, we're going to take this track and put it on top, and you are never going to be able to see underneath. So it matters little to not. Unless you can get under the bridge and look up, you'll never know how it's put together. So.
Okay, then what do we do? Okay, we got them together. Long rivet plate. What is a long rivet plate? Is number 4.
Whoops, forgot to do something else.
These are the long rivet plates.
Everybody's gone quiet. Y'all still there?
Absolutely. I got a question for you while you're working too. So I need to build, I'm building a number of these bridges as well. So, and building along with you as well, but I need to build several of these bridges askew, or where they meet the abutment at a other than 90-degree angle. Should I build it and cut it in like a miter after it's semi-constructed so it's somewhat rigid? Because wouldn't that make more sense, I guess, than to try to do it a sub-assembly and try to get that right?
My experience with these micro-engineering bridges is they are extremely delicate, and I would want to pre-cut them.
Okay. Yeah, I was concerned about it for both directions. It's a little bit difficult to get the angles and pitches correct on the components.
Well, the instructions talk about if you want it on a curve. And let me see here, where they tell you what to do. You can also do it either with an open deck or with ballast on it. Someplace here it talks about if you want to do it on a curve, and they do address that somewhat.
Yeah, mine are both in both directions, complicated in both directions. I've got 2 bridges.
Okay.
These are building. They're each 3 or 4 bridges together. They're all on a curve. They're both on a curve. They're both on a grade, and both of them have abutments on each side that are at askew angles.
You don't like to do things simply, do you?
That's what the Norfolk and Western did, so that's what I have to do.
Yeah, oh, I know. I don't know what you do.
This is really hard with the glue because it doesn't stick.
Yeah, I know.
It takes it a while.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, while you're working there, I've got a couple of comments here. Big Bill, South Brooklyn Railroad says, great to see the band is back together, Fran and Miles. Sparky 107, You want us viewers to build with you. A, need a little more direction, and B, what happens if the viewers fall behind or I can't keep up? Well, that's one reason why it's recorded. You can go back once the show's over with, give it about 10 minutes, and it should be posted. DeBob's In-Scale Man Cave. I weather stuff by rolling it around in the dirt and pressure washing it in the driveway.
That's what Fran does with me. She rolls me in the dirt and then she uses the pressure washer.
You got to do what you got to do.
That's right.
Yeah, you're right. Not instantaneous on the glue. This is not super glue.
You got that right.
You can see I'm kind of slopping this glue on, and that's one reason for painting it after the fact. You're bound to get some marks from the glue. If you're really not careful, you're liable to get some fingerprints and things on it. And so that's one reason that it's really nice to wait and paint it after the fact rather than doing it right away. Okay, now solid here. Okay, now the next question is, where do these long rivet plates, bottom of each girder? Okay. We have wooden blocks at home, about, I don't know, maybe 4 inches. Well, they're a 2x4 that's cut into about a 3-foot section. And then Miles has reamed out the middle of it, the size of the glue bottle, and we sit the glue bottle in those. And those are invaluable at clinics, especially when we've got kids there, because they can't tip it over as easily. I've spent lots of time sopping up glue when people have knocked over a whole bottle of it. And it really is a good way to go on the whole thing. And invariably, the first thing somebody does when I tell them to start gluing things together in a clinic is they pull that bottle of glue out of the wooden holder. And I force them to put it back in because it's my only method of trying to keep the thing from spilling. These things look like they just go on top of here.
I don't know if I'm still echoing or not, so somebody have to let me know. But
these are guard.
Got a
yeah
question here from where'd he go? Oh, Phil, up in Michigan. Can you use a CA type of glue on this type of plastic?
Can you use what? Say it again.
CA.
Oh. It's not the best.
Yeah, I would not do it.
I know out there at the hobby shop where I go on Wednesday nights, we were building a viaduct bridge that's black plastic, and we were having problems with that because they started out with CA and it wouldn't adhere. Yeah. But I've had others that, like Walter Tester's glue and all that wouldn't adhere, black colored plastic, and CA was the only thing that would glue it together. So,
in my experience, CA gets brittle over time. So even
I was just going to say, it gets very brittle.
Yep.
And that can be a problem with this plastic. I think, to me, that's one of the major reasons for not using it. Okay, you think that goes like that?
Yeah, Curtis is asking, can the 10XR7 be used for weathering due to the fact that it peels the paint?
For weathering what now?
I wouldn't do that.
The 10X7 to weather the paint to peel it.
Ooh.
I think it's a little too aggressive.
That would be my reaction too. I don't think I'd try that.
I don't know about that.
I have a YouTube video out. If you're looking for peeling like whitewash or whatever, even gray or red or blue paint on an old-fashioned type of building, I'm using oil-based pastel. And if you look in the under my website, which is Model Railroading University, or our website, Model Railroading University, you'll find a thing in there for what do we call that house?
The miner's cabin.
Miner's cabin. There's one in there called house anyway.
I think it's called the miner's cabin.
It could be something rather house final. Look through some of those. There's 2 or 3 videos on there where I experimented with that oil pastel, and literally in a matter of seconds, not minutes or not a day, but in seconds, you can make whitewash paint look like it's peeling off. Or actually, those oil pastels come in many colors. You can do it with blues, greens, reds, whatever you want to paint your building with. Those oil pastels are absolutely phenomenal in the look that it gives the building.
Now that was whitewash.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Did you get that?
Okay, I'm from Missouri. I'm an Ozarkian, you know. Put an R in there.
Wash. We always get Miles on that at clinics.
Yeah, let's see. I got a comment here for Andy. If I can find it again. Yeah, Andy, this is Mark. You know what's coming. Is Andy doing the same kit? I think his will be done first, LOL, and done to his prototypical specs, LOL.
Got to build got to model to the world, got to model to pictures. So, but microengineering is really close to the prototype bridge that so many railroads use. The N&W bridge is rivet accurate for those bridges that are, I think they're U.S. switch and signal design or ARA approved designs, probably ARA approved designs. And I know this is going to surprise everyone, but I counted the rivets on it, and it's accurate. I haven't done a bashing rivet counter, so
gotta love it.
Can you believe that Andy would count the rivets?
No, nobody would ever think that.
Andy, I can't believe that you would actually walk out on that bridge. You know that's illegal.
Well, I have in my younger days done quite a bit of rail fading, but we used to get away with a lot rail fading. But these days we have pictures and the internet and Google Maps. But years ago, I've walked across many of those bridges.
All right, what are these things called? These are called guard timbers.
Those are guardrails, but those are going to go up on top of this. I think they should be. Yeah.
Well, are we doing an open
track.
deck bridge, or are we doing a concrete
Well,
balancing?
here's.
Are we
I'll give away a little bit of the secret here. We really don't want to put this track on top of this bridge tonight, because we're going to use this bridge tomorrow in a live broadcast that we're going to do a few months down the line for Trainmasters TV. So I really don't want to take this all the way to completion, but what Fran's doing here is she's talking about the deck here and putting these guard timbers here. Give me one of your timbers real quick. She's going to put, oh, are you on this camera? Okay, sorry. Going to put that guard timber on the side there. And all that did literally was to try and keep the wheels, when they would derail, from slipping off of the bridge. A 4x6 or a 6x6 piece of wood stopping a locomotive. It was a theory, okay? Not so sure it practiced very well.
We have a place in Kansas City where they have bushes planted, just a little line of bushes, and they think that's going to stop a locomotive that might roll down the hill.
They've told everybody in that neighborhood that if the train derails, the bushes will stop the train.
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of wishful thinking in these things.
The appearance of security, the appearance of safety. All right.
Okay, AJ, it's got something here, Andy. Andy, I'm building the kind of bridge you described. Use the sides to form your bridge, then use styrene to make cross braces to fit the space of the bridge.
The difficulty I have in my bridge is, like I said, it's complicated every way. It's an open deck bridge you've got to be able to see through. It's at eye level so you can see up through it. So I can't get away with, there's no place to fake it. You know, I'm all about faking it when I can, but there's no really good opportunity to fake it. So
And yes, Sparky 107, you will get better informed on the next shows as to what the build will be and time to get it.
Yeah, I should apologize. We are at the studios of Train Masters TV in Canada, and we got here just a few days ago and kind of worked out with Andy and with Johnny that we were going to do this kind of a preliminary show to show you what we were going to do over the next year or so, or Andy is going to try to do along with YouTube Model Builders. And so we really got a late start on this. The future shows, I'm sure that Andy is planning on putting together after the 1st of January. We will have a much longer notice ahead of time so that you'll have plenty of time to go out, buy the kit, and be ready. I apologize for the shortness. I take full blame for it. It was mostly our part. We were really going crazy here trying to get everything done that we came up here to do. And in the meantime, we've kind of slipped this in. We just finished filming, an hour and a half ago, something like that, on the latest episode of this show that we're going to debut here in January, we hope. And so everything's been really tight. And I apologize for that, but it's not going too badly tonight. I hope everybody's opinion, if they look in, and we'll try and do far better in the future. I like this. We're finished.
I think so too.
Wow. Yeah.
Because we're not.
We don't add the deck on the girder. Yeah. Now, one thing that we are not going to put on also, I don't know if we can get a close up on this.
Yeah, we have little shoes or whatever.
These are the bridge shoes.
His kit had them. My kit didn't even have them. It's not Micro-Engineering's fault. The kit had been opened previously, and so they had, I'm sure, just not been put in.
Can you see those on white, Barry? Okay. That's the bridge shoe.
Yeah,
and that would go on here. Now, what a bridge shoe does, if you can see it, it kind of has a little bit of, I'll turn it a little bit more there. It has a pivot going through right there in the center. And these fingers would be attached to the bridge. These would be attached to the abutment. And what that does is it hinges back and forth and allows that bridge to move as it heats up in the summer, cools down in the winter, or even between daylight and evening. That bridge will expand and contract a good deal with all that metal. So that's the way that the bridge has to have some movement so that it won't tear itself away from its abutments. And those are called bridge shoes. At any rate, you would want to put those on your bridge if you want to make it really prototypical. One clinic that I do want to get together with maybe Andy or somebody on and do sometime is how to actually plant a bridge. Because I don't know, everybody talks about building bridges, everybody talks about building scenery, but I don't think anybody really addresses all of the ways that we can make abutments and those tie-ins between the bridge and terra firma. And that's one thing I want to go into, is all the abutments and the ways that we attach, and especially sometimes those intermediate attachments. If we're out on trestle bents or other bents in the middle of the stream, we want to be able to take a look at what's prototypical so that you can make those bridge mountings maybe a little bit more believable. But that's a little bit beyond what we were trying to do with this kit. We will get together with you and try and do something that's kind of a follow-up on this one, so that you know how to plant these bridges once you have them made up.
All right, Big Bill, South Brooklyn Railroad. Sorry, Bill. Getting a little tongue-tied tonight. He said the clinics take place on January 26th and 27th, 2017, at the Sheraton Springfield Monarch Hotel, 1 Monarch Place, Springfield, Massachusetts.
Right.
Right.
Now the information has just gone up on the Amherst Train Show website. So if you punch in Amherst 2017 Amherst Train Show, and then follow their website to clinics, and we are what they call, I think, track 1 is what it's called. And if you take a look at that, it lists all of the clinics for both days. And in each of the clinic times, there are 3 different clinics, and you can pick which one you want to go to. It tells which ones are hands-on clinics. And obviously, if it doesn't say it's hands-on, it's not a hands-on clinic. And then hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we'll get the lists on there of the tools that you need to bring for the hands-on clinics. They aren't extensive, but there will be some tools. I mean, we always ask you to bring your own X-Actos and, you know, some of those kinds of things. And you don't have to really pre-register for the clinics. You could just go to whatever you want to when you get there. But it's a great program. We have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and of those 30 clinics that are being offered, almost half of them, I think almost 15 of them, will be hands-on clinics. A lot of them are presented by the manufacturers this year. We have Scale Trains is coming, and I believe the owner, Shane, is actually going to do a live Ustream broadcast out on the net during his clinic. The airbrush clinic will be done by Alan House
with Iwata
Airbrush. And who else do we have?
Let me think here. We've got Michael Connell.
Michael Connell from Chooch.
Chooch is doing a couple of clinics. Norm Stenzel from TCS is doing a clinic. And the big advantage of his clinic is that he's going to show you through video and through live demonstration how to install the sound unit. But he's going to give you, anybody that goes to the clinic is going to get a coupon for a substantial discount on a TCS unit if ordered after the clinic. We can't have them for sale there because of all the different kinds and the different ones that people would need. It's just too much to bring to a clinic. So he's going to give you a coupon that you can use after the fact.
But that's a neat thing. If you have a steam locomotive or diesel locomotive, this coupon will give you a discount to whatever decoder you might need for your locomotive.
Yeah,
so
whatever it is.
What a deal, you know.
Yeah, it is.
Model railroaders should go crazy over that one.
It's a great deal.
It's a really good deal. And we have a super good time at these clinics. Big Bill has been there and been a part of it. I would warn you that there is this one female master model railroader, and she is an absolute taskmaster. But she's a real nice lady, though.
We have fun at these clinics. But if you want to learn to do scenery, actually come and do the clinics that I do, because it's all hands-on, and we're going to throw green stuff all over the place, and we're going to have a really good time doing scenery.
And I'm going to take my new laser cutter. We're going to make a laser kit for you in a wood kit. I'm also going to do a plastic kit from DPM, a little more complicated one than we normally do. We're going to do a whole clinic on LEDs and LED lighting and how to go about it, both economically and also to get some really good results for your buildings and structures. So if you can, be sure and come to Amherst.
The other thing that you get when you pay for the 2 days of clinics on Thursday and Friday, we have breakfast and lunch both days. Then you get a free ticket to the show, to the train show, for both Saturday and Sunday, a free ticket for each day of the show. So by the time you add it all up, it's well worth the money that you're going to pay for the whole thing.
I think they're asking $92, which is the same thing they did last year. But by the time you figure 2 breakfasts and 2 lunches and 2 free tickets to the show, it just about pays for itself, and you're getting all the clinics for nothing. You're getting a great time, and really, we hope anyway that we provide you with a great opportunity to learn along the way.
Okay, sounds good.
Johnny, thanks for the commercial opportunity.
Yeah. Excuse me, no problem. For Sparky and everybody.
Let me do one more. I would like to give a plug to Trainmasters TV. You did a little bit earlier, but Barry and we have Dylan here, our 2 camera operators. They have graciously offered to stay this evening and help us out. This is Dylan. I think he's putting up on TV right now. Dylan, look away from the camera and smile.
Wave to the people.
Dylan is a super guy. He's a student here in Toronto, learning to be a videographer, cinematographer, producer, director. And he's done a great job with us during the day. He volunteered his time tonight to help us out here on YouTube Model Builders. So a great deal of thanks goes to them for the loan of the studio and cameras and time and everything else. And if you get a chance, be sure to go to Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine, look that up, and look up Train Masters TV as well.
Yes, very definitely. Just want to let everybody out there that's in the chat that this video will be posted probably about 5 minutes after we go off air. So Sparky, I know you were asking, you want to go to YouTube and just type in YouTube Model Builders. That'll take you to the YouTube site, and subscribe, and you'll be able to watch the video then, and all the other videos that we have done in the past, all the way from the very beginning. We have them all archived there. We do have playlists, so you don't have to filter through. We have a Tuesday presentation playlist, a Thursday, and a live show playlist. And now I'm also going to have to start a special show playlist, so I can put shows like this one and the Kathy Millett and other future shows into, so that people won't have such a hard time trying to find the show that they're looking for. But Miles, Fran, I want to thank you for doing this. This was really great. Appreciate that. I told you, Fran, my money was on you.
She won. She won.
There were several. Totally finished here. He doesn't even have his
I talk too much, you know. What can I say?
That's right.
But I would encourage everyone to tune in the future to YouTube Model Builders and these live build clinics. I think this is a great use of the video and audio medium that we have to offer to the model railroad community and to the YouTube community. So if you can at all, tune in and watch. I think you'll have a great time building with whoever's on.
I'm probably going to regret this. But since everybody at Amherst is putting their clinics up on YouTube, Miles, you got this available. I guess we could run a show too for you if you wanted to.
You bet.
You know. So
I'm actually gonna take my switcher that we're using here tonight to Amherst for Shane from Scale Trains to use. So we've given some serious thought to maybe doing more than just Shane's segment, but we'll see how that works. We get awfully busy trying to get everything organized, but if we can, we'll do something.
Miles, real quick, Sparky 107, where would he go to find any clinics or shows right here around him in the Toronto area? You have any idea? Maybe Barry could give you an idea, or?
We just had Brampton was first week of October in Toronto. Brampton show.
Brampton, I'm getting the word here from the side from Barry. Brampton was the first week in October. Is that what you said?
And Belleville.
Belleville is
December 4th.
December 4th and 5th, right here in Belleville.
And then Paris, Ontario, in January.
And Paris, Ontario in early January.
Is there like a website he could go to like we have here in the U.S. that would list those shows? Or
what does the Belleville group call themselves? Do you know?
It's a Quinte Model Railroad show.
Quinte?
Yeah.
Quinte.
Yeah, Quinte Model Railroad Show. If he Googles that, I think you'll find the information.
Might try and tie into NMRA in the area, whatever the region is up here. They might have a listing of local shows.
Yeah. Yeah, check with the hobby shops too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, yeah.
They should have flyers probably from the different groups.
Yeah.
Of upcoming shows.
Or they can give you a website that you could go to check.
Yeah.
You know, for your standard shows. I always cross the border, come down here to the U.S.
Actually, Barry does that quite often to cover some of our shows.
Yeah. I was talking about Sparky. He could expand his travel horizons.
That's right. Well, yeah, I was at a convention, NMRA convention one time, and the guy was standing up promoting his convention in California, and he was doing this, I think, in Virginia or someplace. And he said, you know, it's as far for me to come from California to Virginia as it is for you to go from Virginia to California. So yeah, you know, across the border, it's just as hard for you coming one way as it is for us to come the other.
All righty. I guess we've stretched this one about as far as we can.
That's about it.
Yeah, it was kind of a short bill, but like I said in the intro video, this is a trailer to what is to come for 2017. We are working on just exactly what we're going to do. We're going to kick it off in February. It will be a Tuesday night, that much I can tell you right now. But anyway, I want to say thank you to the people in the chat. Let's see, we've had South Brooklyn Railroad, Big Bill, Tony, Sparky, C&L Curtis, Mark, Phil, AJ, Newcastle, to mention a few. Let's see. I'm kind of scrolling up through here trying to catch some others that I haven't mentioned before. Dave, I think, was in here. Let's see. DeBob, yeah. He, this was date night, so hopefully his wife's not too mad for cutting it a little short. But Dwight.
Well, we certainly appreciate everybody watching.
Oh, yes, definitely. Dwight was in here. He's over here on the East Coast right now. He's, I don't know, it's kind of strange. His son went to Washington on business, and he goes to his son's house on the East Coast. Actually, he's somewhere babysitting. Trayman Clancy, glad to see you in here too. Fran, Miles, thank you very much for doing this for us. Viewership on this show is really good. We got 27 viewers.
Great.
In here. I need to switch over now. And so we greatly appreciate it. It's very interesting, and really enjoyed it. That was really good. Fran, I'll split the winnings off the bookie list here. Yeah, when you get back home. But anyway, I want to say thank you to everybody. Especially again, thank you to Trainmaster TV for allowing Miles and Fran, or Fran and Miles, to I don't know, I've caught myself. I almost said Fran, Kukla, and Ollie.
That's about it sometimes.
Yeah, oh man, I'm dating myself real big time here. Oh, I wish I hadn't said that. Now I got tickled. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. This was a special show, and yeah, it was kind of off the cuff here, but we managed to pull it off, and it was a good show. Thoroughly enjoyed it. For those that will go back and review it, just go to YouTube Mile Builders on YouTube. You'll find the show there. YouTube should post it in about 5 minutes after we go off air. But I also want to say go to YouTubeMileBuilders.com. There you can check the schedules for the Tuesday night presentations, the live show. Thursday show is every week, of course. Also, you can check on the eMag. JD and his crew do a fantastic job on that magazine. Sign up for notification, so when it does come out, you'll be notified of it and be able to download it. It is a PDF file. So all your information there is right there on YouTubeMileBuilders.com. And also keep in mind that all shows are at 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern time. So be sure to check your time zone. So if you get a chance to watch it live, you can. If you do miss the live show, not a problem. We do record these shows, and they're posted on the YouTube channel for you to go back and watch at any time. And with that, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you, Fran and Miles, again. Great show. Appreciate it.
Thanks to you and Andy.
Bye now.
We'll catch y'all later.